available to give your report now?
I am available. Can everybody hear me okay?
Yeah.
Perfect. I figured it out. All right. Welcome, everybody. My name is Eric Polgar. I am the treasurer and the chair of the finance committee for the Alliance for Massage Therapy Education. I am speaking with you from Portland, Oregon today. Basically, over the next few slides, I'm going to be taking you through an overview of our financial situation right now. And as you can see from the slide that's in front of you, the Alliance Board did approve an operational budget. It was proposed by the Finance Committee in late 2015, and after several rounds of discussions at the board level, they did approve the budget for 2016 early on in the year. The focus really for 2016 so far has been on growing our membership and increasing our reserve funds and really setting the financial stage to be prepared for the 2017 Educational Congress. And so when I reviewed the finances on July 3rd, basically our total net assets were $77,008.51, and you can see the division there between our primary checking and our primary savings account. And so looking at our membership revenue on a month-by-month analysis, membership revenue through June was $12,625. We had projected $13,000 in membership revenue during that time period, so we came in slightly under, but we've certainly picked up traction in the last couple of months here. You'll see there a breakdown of the number of memberships that were purchased at each membership level and the total revenue for each membership level through June of 2016. Next slide. This is also just a membership count month by month, and so when we looked at the renewal rates, these will be the people who are renewing or buying new memberships during the first half of 2016. And next slide, please. And just for those who like graphs rather than text, this is the membership revenue by category. You'll see the actual in blue there versus what was budgeted for that independent category. And so in the CE category, we actualized more than what we had budgeted, and in the allied category, we had actualized more than what we budgeted. We did not achieve our levels in the teacher and the school. And next slide, please. There we go. So when I looked at expenses and revenues for the first period of 2016, you'll see that projected expenses were $24,373. Our actual expenses came in slightly higher, $28,301. That's a 16% variance. Some of the budget variance is due to a donation that we made or a sponsorship that we made for the Massage Therapy Foundation that was not in our budget but was approved by the board. And then we also, after creating the budget as a board, decided to pay adjust or to increase the pay of Naomi's position. And so those are two of the pieces that caused that variance. When we looked at our projected revenue, we were very close to our revenue ratings. 2.3% was the variance. We came up just $300 under what we had hoped to secure. And I will turn it over to Sue Bibick unless there's questions that anybody would like me to address for the finances.
Thanks, Eric. Just monitoring through the chat box here. I haven't seen any questions being placed for you, and so Sue, you should be ready to go. Thank you for that. Sue, you should be ready to go if you can speak. So that we can.
I can. I am capable.
Yay! Yay! Thank you.
Yeah, and hopefully, apparently being heard. My name is Sue Bibick, and I am speaking to you from Kalamazoo, Michigan. And I have been the chair and the board liaison for the governance committee since its inception a couple of years ago. And we were given the general overarching mandate to review and revise the bylaws as well as policies and procedures We started with reviewing and revising the bylaws because the policies and procedures roll from those. So we wanted to make sure we were on track with our bylaws, and our bylaws had not been reviewed since we did a revision early on, and maybe 2010, 2011, but we hadn't looked at them since we had been functioning as an organization for that many years. So that seemed like a really wise place to start. So our charges for 2016, since the bylaws were approved in 2015, were to maintain the bylaws and to develop a policy and procedure manual by next spring. That would be last spring at this point in time. And to review both annually. Nothing may need to be updated, but our job is to keep an eye on it and recommend updates to documents as needed. Our other charge is to keep the crew together, keep our committee going. So we will meet as needed, and that crew involves 3 people, one who you have heard from on and off. Deanna Sylvester is on this call, Jenny Olson, and M.K. Brennan, and again, I'm the liaison and chair. So we have, as our current project, is to stay in regular contact with the executive committee and the board for changes to policies, procedures, and or bylaws, and to incorporate the changes into appropriate document and to put them through the appropriate process for approval. Next slide, please. So what we have done is not only did we get a revision of an acceptance of the bylaws over the last year, and we created and received approval for the first Policies and Procedures Manual for the Alliance for Massage Therapy Education. Now that first is underlined, but it should be in bold and capitalized as well. It was a project. So I'm really grateful that I've been able to participate in this, because this is another foundational piece for the Alliance to continue as a viable organization for as long as it does within our profession. So I'm feeling pretty good about that project. We really don't have any further projects, but we do have a charge to stay available and just to handle the items that come under our mandate, as I spoke about that earlier. Even though this sounds like a really boring committee, I can tell you that what was motivational about it was working with the people on my committee, MK and Ginny and Deanna, as well as staying focused on the importance and significance of this project for the organization. So grateful for that one. And I believe that's the end of my report.
Yep. Thank you, Sue. Yeah, those policies and procedures, they're making such a difference in the way we're working, and it's every day it's like we're coming up with little things we've got to add. So it will be a living document. So that's the nature of policies and procedures, but the whole organization is so grateful for this committee. And I want to turn it over to Tracy Walton, who's going to talk about the Leadership Development Committee.
Hi there, this is Tracy, and if you can hear me, I'm going to go ahead with that.
You're coming through, Tracy. You're good.
I'm good. Good. I am talking to you from the Boston, Massachusetts area, and I'm giving the report on the Leadership Development Committee's activities, as well as outlining the election process. The committee members are Deborah Curtis, who is our chair, Krista Fratantoro, who is our board liaison, and the members are, along with myself, are Tim Herbert, David Lauterstein, and Joe Lubau. And our charges are to work and populate the committees in the Alliance for both standing and ad hoc committees, as well as we serve as a nominating committee and recruit and interview and recommend a slate of candidates to serve on the board of directors, as we have done this year, and I'll be explaining a little bit more about that on, I think, the next slide. Next slide. Okay, there we are. So actually it'll be on the slide after this, so apologies, but our activities, we've been busy in 2015 to 2016. We have done all the things I told you about. We populate AFMTE committees, and this year we've been specifically working on the marketing committee, the Conference Planning Committee, the NTT CDC, the Teacher Certification Process Committee, and the Teacher Resources Committee. Those have been the focus of our work this year. We also surveyed other professional associations in massage therapy about their governance practices. We were curious about what other organizations do as well as ours, and what kinds of things are working for people and what not so much. And we conducted a board of directors needs assessment. We always do that as part of the Slate development process. We ask board members to speak to what are the strengths, what are some of the challenges on the board, what are the kind of people that would be best to meet the board's needs currently, and then we developed the BOD and LDC, that's ourselves. It's a little circular here, but the Leadership Development Committee slate for the 2016 election, and now I think is the slide where I talk about that. So this is how we do it. As I said, we conduct a needs assessment each year. We interview board members, both those who are planning to re-up and standing board members, and outgoing board members as well, and we develop a slate from looking at who is on committees in the Alliance, who are strong people among the membership, and we also put out a call. The marketing committee sends out an email for us looking for people who are interested in volunteering at all these levels, but specifically the board of directors at LDC, and so that's the communicate with the membership part, and then we conduct the vote. And the vote, actually I'm not conducting the vote on this meeting. The vote has been ongoing, and the last day to vote is tomorrow, July 15th, 2016. That is the last day that you can affirm the slate or put forward an alternative candidate. The way the vote goes is that you have a choice of either of those two. And here's the slate that we put forth for the board of directors. We're pretty proud of these people. Cherie Sonnen Mo is in the CE provider seat, and obviously our president, Stan Dawson, also a CE provider seat. Our vice president, Pete Wittridge, is in the faculty seat, and they are all re-upping, and Karen Hobson has joined the slate as the at-large seat, is running for the at-large seat, and Beverly Giroux in the school seat. So these are all people we have selected for the Board of Directors slate. And on the next slide, I believe we have also the Leadership Development Committee slate. The slate we are putting forward is Deborah Curtis, who is our current chair, and Joe Lubau. Both of them have been serving on the LDC for a while. So the next slide describes how you vote. The deadline is tomorrow. If you haven't voted already, you need to check your email for election news. Members in good standing can all vote, and we email. So if you haven't voted yet, here's what you do. The actual mechanism for voting is by email, and what you do is you either write in the direction, you follow the directions in the email to either affirm the slate or put forward an alternative candidates for those positions, one or more alternative candidates for those positions. And it's similar to the way it would be handled in a business meeting. And if there are alternative candidates put forward, then it would trigger the next step of the election, as it would if we were in a face-to-face meeting where nominations would be taken from the floor. But before you vote, I just want to go back to that. Read more about the candidates at this link. There are election materials there with everybody's bios and even video presentations, video interviews of each candidate. So again, tomorrow is the deadline if you haven't already voted. Okay, and so now we can go to the next slide. And if you yourself are interested in committee work on the Alliance, there are sometimes short-term volunteering or long-term volunteering. Both options are available. Reach out to any of us on the LDC at the Leadership Development Committee, and you can email us at ldc@afmte.org. We would love to hear from you. People who already volunteer on committees at the Alliance are just rave about their experience. They get to work with some of the finest, most interesting and thoughtful and often really fun people. So we would love to hear from you and have you be part of it if you haven't already. So do contact us. And I think that's it from my slides.
It is. Thank you, Tracy. Excuse me, Cherie, just a second. I wanted to let everybody know
Sure.
that the live link to check out the election slate information was put in the chat box. So if anyone is interested, they can certainly copy and paste that link after the end of the meeting, but it's there for your convenience. Thank you.
Great. And I know we're going to take question and answers later, but if does anybody have any questions right now for Tracy or about the election?
It says, is there a vote for each level of membership, including allied, was one of the questions that was asked.
Yes. Well, Tracy can answer that. Tracy?
I was actually going to bump that back to you, Cherie. I'm so sorry.
That's okay. Yes. Allied members, they get one vote per organization, just like a school would get one vote per organization unless they had other faculty and administrators also with memberships.
And I don't see any other questions at this time regarding that. And Cindy, hopefully that answered your question. If it didn't, let us know. We'll be more than happy to help you with that, okay?